What up, Chief?
Are we rolling?
We're rolling.
All right.
Today is November the 28th, 2017. Welcome to Third Thoughts. I am your host. My name is Clay. I'm here with the Chief himself. In the flesh.
I am here. Sorry, I was opening a Mountain Dew.
That's okay. I just want everybody to know that you're actually here. It's not a ruse. You're not a hologram.
No Skype in this house.
You're not Skyping. You're not on Discord. You are here live in studio.
And as of right now, there is no Discord.
Correct.
Yes. You said Discord, right?
Yeah, that's a program.
Yeah. See, I'm behind on the times.
That's okay. Okay.
Yep.
But you're gonna
Why
get
would you name a communication program Discord?
Interesting, right?
Why would you name something made to communicate with other people and you name it conflict?
I mean, I think that's kind of the gimmick, though. I think that's the thing.
Yeah. I mean, maybe I should get that app.
Yeah, you probably should.
And just put certain people in it.
I mean, you're kind of getting into the gaming thing. You've been playing this game on your computer.
Yeah.
And Discord's kind of a gaming, like, that's the crowd it draws.
Oh, yeah, because there's a lot of trash talking that goes on.
Sure. Yeah, well, yeah, I guess maybe that's why. Yeah. I don't really know. Shout out Discord. We don't have a Discord, but we might get one at some point.
But if you would like to sponsor us, Discord, we will certainly use your program for a nominal fee.
Yeah, I mean, basically, that's free advertisement right there.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Anyway, welcome to the podcast. If you're listening live, we appreciate you. And if you're not, you're listening later, that's cool too. We also appreciate you
just
equally.
Not as much. Oh, equally.
I appreciate you equally. The Chief does not, apparently.
I like to see those live numbers.
Yeah, he likes the live numbers. They come up red on the stats. So please listen live. It makes Chief happy.
Yes.
If you want to reach us, social is at Third Podcast. That's on all the social networks. Email is thirdpodcast@gmail.com. Make sure you leave us a review on Apple Podcasts. That helps us the most. You can also comment, listen, do whatever. SoundCloud, YouTube, and of course, Spreaker.
Yes.
The company keeping us live and in action. So thank you, Spreaker, for your awesome app. Let's get right into it. Topics of the week. Got some breaking news today, Chief.
Breaking news.
Stuff going on right now.
Right now.
Well, actually, I guess it was a couple hours ago.
Hours.
North Korea launched a missile.
Yes.
It landed in the Sea of Japan. It went about 600 miles. I figured it was worth saying because it's been 2 months since they did a launch.
Right.
Which is the longest amount of time in like the past year or so.
Yeah, I think they were trying to save up enough gas to get it off the ground.
You think it took them that long?
Yeah.
That's funny. Yeah, so that happened.
And the ghost ship.
The ghost ship that washed up on Japan?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was crazy, right?
I mean, people are willing to starve to death at sea to get away from North Korea.
I mean, so last week the guy ran across the border and got shot.
5 times.
Yeah. And had the parasitic worms
Thousands.
in him. That was insane. We didn't really cover that, but if you haven't seen that story, you should look it up. It was crazy. And then this week we're finding ghost ships. We got missile launches. You know, the world is just an insane place.
Also, just off the coast of North Korea, the Russian aircraft that intercepted our spy drone.
Yeah, what was that about?
And then our fighter jets intercepted a nuclear bomber headed for our fleet.
Really?
Yeah, it's just nuts over there.
It really is.
Yeah, listen, everybody would sleep better if he was gone.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
I'm not just talking about in the United States. I'm not talking about in Japan and South Korea. Even the people in North Korea would sleep better with him gone.
Yeah. You're probably right.
Probably even his wife. I'm just saying.
Is he married?
Yeah, he's married. She was in a picture last week.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they called her the enigmatic first lady. Yeah.
Would you call Melania Trump the enigmatic first lady? No.
No, front and center.
But
first lady.
That really weird Christmas decoration she put up. We were just talking about that.
Yeah, don't get all over my Chiefs corner.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I don't mean to encroach.
Stay
on
off the corner.
Yeah, I'm gonna stay out of the corner here. So yeah, that happened. Also today, breaking news:
Mm-hmm.
the parent company that owns Arby's
Yes.
bought Buffalo Wild Wings.
Come on now.
So I didn't know this, but as I dug into this, apparently this company, I forgot what they're called, but they bailed out Arby's in 2011.
Mm-hmm.
Arby's was going under,
Yeah.
wasn't working out. Nobody wanted a roast beef sandwich anymore, apparently, which is really odd because I've always liked them. But they were going under. This company jumps in, gives them the equity, whatever.
Right.
Right. So they're doing the same thing with Buffalo Wild Wings.
Wow. Yeah.
And it really did turn around because I don't really remember any Arby's advertising before that. But now they have some of the best commercials on TV.
But I'm going to call out Arby's right now because their major flaw in their restaurant. So they come out opening weekend of deer season
Yeah.
with the venison sandwich.
Yeah.
I got one on that Saturday. Delicious sandwich.
You're a big venison guy.
One of the best things that I've ever eaten from Arby's. Okay.
Okay.
I go back on Tuesday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, 3 days later, and they had already discontinued the sandwich.
Mm-hmm.
What's wrong with that? You can't have a sandwich for 3 days.
I mean, it's hype, though.
I'll tell you what, it is disappointing. I have not been back since.
Well, it's like a special edition
I
sandwich.
want someone from Arby's to call me, reach out on social media, something. Come here, bring me a venison sandwich, and apologize that the best thing they've ever had on their menu lasted for 2 days.
But you know what? That wouldn't have happened if they weren't turned around by this company. And it was something like $2.4 billion
Built with a B.
with a B that they bought Buffalo Wild Wings for.
Wow.
That,
That's a lot of chicken wings.
it's not as many as you think. If you've been to Buffalo Wild Wings lately,
I've never been.
They're really expensive.
I don't think I've ever been to Buffalo Wild Wings.
Well, it's
Been
good,
to Arby's.
I guess.
Not going back until they get the sandwich back.
Yeah, well, there it is. So you're not going back to Arby's till the venison comes back.
And I will not make my first appearance at Buffalo Wild Wings until we get the venison sandwich back.
What? Well, all right. There it is. Yeah, there's a lot going on with the tax bill.
Mm-hmm.
And now some top Democrats are offended because Trump tweeted that they wouldn't come to a deal about something today. It's always like, we've been following football too.
Yeah.
And this whole drama with the Tennessee Volunteers and a new coach. And Lane Kiffin, who was there about 8 years ago.
Evidently, was it Clausen or Cutcliffe that turned them down today?
I don't know. I haven't kept up with it much more than just Lane Kiffin's Twitter. But the point I'm making here is I can't decide whose Twitter is more interesting, Donald Trump's or Lane Kiffin's, because they're equally ridiculous.
Yeah,
I think Kiffin's funnier, though.
Yeah, Kiffin's funnier and not as offensive.
I guess it depends on...
No. Lane Kiffin's is just funny.
I mean, I think some people are actually offended, though.
Well, they need to get over it. Trump tweets some offensive things.
Yeah, he does. Mostly offensive things.
Yes, yeah.
Like the stuff that's not offensive, I feel like he didn't really tweet it. Like it was a scripted copy-paste kind of thing. Somebody wrote that, and he was like, whatever.
Oh, maybe. Yeah,
I don't know.
Maybe.
I'm not trying to get too deep into that. Here's an interesting story before we move on to our main topic today.
Okay.
I just read this on Reddit that 8% of the human genome is actually virus DNA, which means that somewhere in our ancestors, they survived a virus but kept the DNA. And that apparently a small section of it could be activated and become a virus again.
I wonder if it's the sin infection, What if it's the sin virus?
You're getting really deep there, aren't you?
I'm just saying I'm going to look into that.
Okay.
I'm going to look into that.
You looking?
Maybe a book coming from the chief.
Yeah, look out for it. It'll be a New York Times bestseller. Don't you don't really have to best sell for New York Times, do you? Is that it's like a fallacy, isn't it? Isn't it something about promotion?
Yes.
It's not real.
No.
Wow, it's lame.
Yeah. It's not about selling your book.
Mm-hmm.
It's about commercialization.
Marketing.
Marketing. Yeah.
It's marketing.
As a matter of fact, you can hire a company to guarantee that you're a New York bestseller.
Wow.
They'll just buy enough of your book to make you a New York Times bestseller.
Man.
And they just throw it away.
That's just ridiculous. I'm a little bit disturbed, Chief. That brings me to this. I'm a little bit disturbed.
Let's
because
talk about it.
There's something coming down the pipe that's equally shadowy, probably far more shadowy than that. So there's a whole thing about net neutrality, right?
Right.
Okay, you've heard about it.
Yeah.
And so that was a regulation that was put into place under the Obama administration to keep the internet from being... It's a regulation to keep it from being regulated, basically.
Correct.
That telecommunications companies can't prioritize certain websites. They can't give fast lanes and slow lanes. They can't sell you a package so that you get access to certain things.
Right.
Right. So the internet's free and open, right? So the repeal, because this guy Trump put in over the FCC as the chairman, used to work for Verizon, and so now he's trying to take away net neutrality on the 14th of December.
He's trying, or is it a done deal?
It depends on who you talk to, but most people say it's a done deal.
It's like Jimbo to Texas A&M. Mostly a done deal.
I don't know. See, I think the repeal of net neutrality is
still iffy.
I've seen a lot of activity on it, but I think it really depends on who you're looking at, because I'm on Reddit a lot, and people on Reddit are very pro net neutrality, so they're very vocal about that. But the average person, I would imagine, doesn't know anything about it.
So my understanding, the way this could work, is that if this is repealed, my internet service, my ISP, throw in some fancy words, acronym letters at least.
Internet service provider.
Yes. Could basically say, in order to access social media, I have to have a social media subscription, or they will limit me from being able to access Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, so on and so forth.
Yep.
My issue, and here's the thing, I think that there are a certain number of people, maybe a demographic of people that that you grew up with basically free access to internet.
Yes.
So you have the expectation that would stay the same.
Yes.
I kind of grew up in the world of free TV, and it stunk.
Mm-hmm.
And then cable came along, and it was like, whoa, got to pay for cable. Why are we paying for television? What in the world? But it got a lot better.
Yeah. Yeah. And see, that's the argument that the FCC chairman is making, that this will actually boost the market and will make it better. The market will handle itself. I think a lot of the issue is based on the fact that a lot of ISPs have pseudo monopolies over areas.
Yes.
So you either have one or two options as a consumer for ISPs already.
Right.
And now if, let's say, AT&T decides to prioritize Google and Charter decides to prioritize Bing, and those are your only two options for ISPs, now you have to decide which search engine you want to use.
Or or everyone discontinues their service, and that company goes bankrupt and somebody else buys it.
Perhaps, but it's almost, because of the way internet is now, like a utility. I mean, it would be like canceling your power or canceling your water. I mean, I know you could live without it.
And we did, believe it or not. We made it without the internet.
And I know you made it.
I made it without a cell phone.
I know. I understand.
I made it without my parents having GPS on me at all times.
Yes. And I understand that. But now that we've come this far with it, so many things are based on it. I mean, like here when we are at work.
Yes.
If the internet is down, there's a lot of things we can't get done.
Correct.
Finances. I mean, tons of stuff.
And that's that is the scary part with businesses.
Yeah.
They have the right to hold you hostage if you are doing e-commerce or not even e-commerce, if you're processing credit cards.
Yeah.
And
so
like,
anybody.
Okay, so we want 3%, an additional 3% of every credit card swipe. Or we want to charge you this amount because you're a business. That's where it could get very interesting.
Yeah, and I think it's a slippery slope. I don't think it's like some people are making it out to be this big crisis that, like, on December 14th, either we start paying buku money for internet or it all goes dark. And it's not like that. But I think it is a slippery slope. I think eventually we get to what you're talking about, where everything is so micromanaged.
But what about this? What about the benefit of it?
Okay.
Okay, so...
I mean, I'm willing to listen to that.
You don't have children, right, Clay?
No.
Okay, just making sure. Okay, so right now, as much as I love my children, and we parent I believe you will agree that we parent our children well.
You and your wife, yes.
Yes,
not me and you.
No. Definitely not you and I. No, but I'm very engaged in my children's lives.
Yeah, definitely.
As I implore every parent to be.
Yes.
There are no bad kids. There are only bad parents. I'm going to stick to that.
It feels like a call out almost.
I'm at my home. I am not going to subscribe to the porn service.
Correct.
So my children can't access it.
Yes.
Right?
Sure, in theory, yeah.
So it gives me the ability to have what I want coming into my home. Correct?
Perhaps from your ISP.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I know there are programs that can do that on my end anyway.
Sure. And I think the chink here, well, not the chink, but kind of the weird thing that's kind of in the balance is mobile data.
Yes.
Because how does this affect that? I don't know that it translates totally. Because I don't know. There's a big web here that, no pun intended, but a big web for the web. I mean, I just think it's working okay. And this seems like another one of those things to build the big business. I feel like it's a corporate move. It's a push to just to kind of line the pockets of those major telecommunications companies. And it leaves the consumer at a disadvantage. I think that's just unnecessary.
Unless it does make it better. We've never had this model before. So we don't know if it's going to make it better.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. The internet has existed the way the internet has existed for as long as the internet has existed. And we have an expectation, or we have this ideology that this is the best way it can be.
And that gets us into this topic of expectations.
Yes, and here's the thing. America will give the greatest pushback to something like this.
Sure. Well, and actually, funny enough that you mentioned that the EU apparently has laws in place to prevent this from being repealed.
Right, and
so they've already handled it.
So that it wouldn't happen.
Correct.
But we have, your generation has an expectation of free news.
Yes. And we were talking about this the other day, and that's what inspired me to do this for the show, talk about expectations. And net neutrality is one of them because we expect the internet to be the way it is.
But I used to have to pay for news.
Yeah, let's talk about it. So my big thing was, if you're listening, my big thing was we were talking about Florida State football, and there's a kind of a toss up with our head coach and if he's going to stay or leave, whatever. Lots of coaches go through this,
Right.
But I follow all the Florida State football news sources on Twitter, and they tweet these links, and every time I click on the links, they're always protected content, premium content. You have to pay a subscription to get the stories, and it really was bugging me because right now they're really pushing. They even have this promotion out. You get a gift card if you sign up right now for subscription, and they're doing it because this is a prime time to do it. This is when people want to know all the details.
Oh, recruiting's about to just...
Oh, yeah. So with the coach carousel, with the recruiting, but sports outlets aren't the only ones to do this. I mean, Wall Street Journal, New York Times, Atlanta Journal-Constitution.
ESPN.
Yeah, lots of these outlets have paywalls now where some stories are free, some are not. Some of it's premium content, and they get to decide what is premium content.
Right.
Which bugs me. And I mentioned that to you, and now you can go ahead. And so you brought this up to me. It really did challenge me because I was very adamant about that. And then you were like, well, yeah, but we always bought the newspaper, you know?
Yeah,
so.
yeah. I mean, when I was growing up, the newspaper was our axe. And listen, I'm not that old.
Right.
I mean, I'm not 70 years old.
Sure.
Not that that's that old. So forgive me if you're 70 and I just said you're old. I'm not that old. But we used to have to get our news from the newspaper. If you missed the Braves game, you had to get the newspaper to see who won.
Yeah.
You know? And if you missed the paper, you just didn't know.
Yeah.
So there was this whole thing about paying for the news. Our family was not wealthy growing up, so we had to decide on Sundays especially whether we wanted local news or world news. Because the local newspaper covered the local stories in our county.
Yep.
Then there was the Atlanta Journal and Constitution, or even maybe USA Today, that you could get extended news from. But we couldn't afford both papers. I always wanted the AJC because it had colored funny pages, so that they were in color. Yeah. The comics, we call them the funny pages, but yeah, the comics were actually in color. Whoa, it was high entertainment. Right. So this whole concept of paying for news is not alien to me like it is you.
Yeah, and I think, and that's kind of what I want to discuss just for a little while here is whose fault is this? And I don't mean, I'm not trying to just place blame, but I'm trying to understand the phenomenon here that we expect things to be a certain way. Like I guess you can draw it back to, I guess, the dawn of the internet, particularly with news. And then, net neutrality just kind of fits in there because it wouldn't exist without the internet. But
right.
With the dawn of that, so many things have become accessible and free for the most part. Now, we can always draw it back and say, well, so-and-so is paying for that, and taxpayers are paying for that. We can draw it back. Somebody's paying for something.
Yes.
In pretty much everything. But, for the most part, it's free for me to open my laptop, jump on the internet, open my phone, jump on the internet, and read about anything I want to read about. Right. Watch any video I want to watch, for the most part. Mm-hmm. And I think that has produced these, maybe, and I'm willing to say this because I think it might be ridiculous, these unrealistic expectations for the generation that is about to take the reins and future generations.
It's not just that.
And yeah, I don't want to limit it just to the internet.
There's different things that have happened.
Tons of stuff.
So I can remember when gas went over $1 a gallon. Mm-hmm. And I was like, what? We can't. We're Americans.
Right.
We deserve 89 cents a gallon gas.
Yeah.
What do you mean over $1? Then it went over $3. We're like, wait, we can't pay over $3 for gas. Mm-hmm. It's an expectation because of the way things have always been.
Yeah.
And we have to understand that economics, society, community, it evolves. It doesn't stay the same.
Definitely. And I want to read just quickly. When I was studying for the show, there's a Forbes article from last year, last August, 2016, and it's titled 8 Unrealistic Expectations That Will Ruin You.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm just going to shoot off.
You're going to read just the expectation?
Yep. And we're just going to commentary just a little bit. I mean, they have commentary here, but I just want to talk about it because I want to expand it because I'm afraid listeners will think that I'm just ranting about the internet, and I'm not. I think expectations literally form our world. I mean, I think you can either have a good day or a bad day based on what you expect.
Expectation is the building block of our opinion and our platform.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think, and I put it in the description of the show. I said, expect to hear something good today.
Yes.
Or don't.
Right.
Because either way, depending on the person, depending on what your expectations actually are, either expecting something good or not expecting something good could give you a great experience listening to this podcast. And I think everything in life you can draw it down to that if you want to.
Absolutely.
So here's what Forbes said are 8 unrealistic expectations that will ruin your life. Number 1, life should be fair.
Oh.
Ridiculous, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we know, and I think most people know life's not going to be fair. I think that's pretty general. But there's some that get a little bit more. Number 2, opportunities will fall into my lap.
That is an expectation of
It
Americans.
is.
For most.
Yeah.
For most.
And I think particularly younger ones.
Yes.
Because of the way things have been for almost our whole lives, that opportunity is so abundant and being connected with the world more than any other generation before us. I mean, it's huge.
Yes.
Let me see. Number 3, everyone should like me.
I addressed that Sunday.
So, if you're listening, you haven't listened to this past Sunday's service, you can find it on the Seastone Facebook.
Yeah.
Number 4, this is a big one. People should agree with me.
We're seeing the catastrophic effect of that right now.
Mm-hmm.
For the first time, liberals are getting real pushback about their agenda, and our country has gone nuts, bonkers, because we've always seen a conservative, passive group of people. But now that we have a somewhat offensive non-politician,
I would say very offensive,
somewhat conservative person in the White House that if he doesn't get his vote, he just signs an executive order. It's going. Look what's happening at Berkeley. I mean, you can't even be a Republican. They're following you and threatening you with baseball bats.
Jeez, man.
And it comes back to this expectation that you're talking about right now.
Yeah, people should agree with you. And I think, and we do that, don't we? I mean, we surround ourselves with people that will most likely agree with us. Most of us do. Because, it makes us
on
feel
the
good.
big things.
Yeah. It makes us feel good. It makes us feel like we can accomplish things with those people.
Absolutely.
And I don't think that's all bad. I mean, I think
it's natural.
Yeah, I mean, it's just something that happens. Number 5, this is a big one too for me. People know what I'm trying to say. I mean, I assume that probably 1 million times a day.
Oh my goodness.
And I can't believe it is staggering to find out how many times people have no idea what you're trying to say.
Oh, listen, there have been times, and I consider myself a pretty decent communicator.
Sure, it's what you do.
And I get to the end of my message, my talk, whatever it is that I'm doing that day. People come out and tell me what a great job I did and say, I just never really thought about. And they say something, and I think to myself, that had nothing to do with what that's not what I was saying. Is that what I communicated?
Yeah.
But I feel like everyone should know what I'm saying. That they're wrong and they're listening.
Yeah.
Go
And
ahead.
and it's well, and that's a good point though, because I think, and just like expectations themselves, it's on both sides. I mean, it's both what we expect and then what we get. I mean,
Yeah.
they both, if they're in harmony, everything's perfect.
Yes.
If they're not, that's when things are problem. Even if you expect something bad to happen, if it doesn't, I mean, that can be a good thing.
Yeah.
Or maybe you wanted it. You know what I mean? You wanted
Yeah.
it to happen. You expected it to happen.
Yeah.
I think it's really interesting. Number 6, I'm going to fail. And this one's interesting because I think a lot of people do expect something to go wrong and for things to not work out.
But still be fair.
Yeah. Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
How do you have number 1 and number 6?
Well, because I think that we have an expectation that I'm going to miss the mark, but missing the mark should not disqualify me from fairness.
Mm-hmm.
That the government should be there to supply my need, that something should happen to pick me up and bail me out, regardless of my failure.
Yeah. But I think if we just change that, if you just don't expect, I mean, you shouldn't expect to always succeed. But I don't think you should always expect to fail either.
No, I never expect to fail.
I mean, you have to just roll with whatever happens. I mean, I think that expectation can really ruin you.
I have
either way.
failed,
Yeah.
but I've never expected to fail.
Okay.
Does that make sense? Yeah, I'm doing this huge thing in March. Huge thing for me with this warrior, whatever, dash, run, challenge.
Is it Ironman?
Ironman. I don't know, whatever it is, but it requires physical activity, which we know I'm not, prepared for.
Sure.
And I don't expect to fail. If I went out there right now, I would still have the expectation that I would get to the end of that obstacle course because I'm not going to lose.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to tackle. I'm not going to call his name.
But if you
One
fail,
of my board members that is obviously faster than me.
But if you fail, are you shattered?
No.
See, and that's the thing.
No.
And I don't think most people think they can handle the shattering, or that they won't.
And I don't expect. And if I do fail, and when I do fail, I understand that I failed, and I don't expect everything to be fair. There's a recovery time.
Sure.
You make a mistake in business, and you fail, but yet you expect for everything to remain the way it was. It's unrealistic.
Yeah. Number 7. Things will make me happy.
Yeah, there is an expectation for that, especially here in America, that we have an entitlement to perpetual happiness. But yeah, that's tough.
Oh, I mean, I think if you just take a look around, it's probably stacked in the other direction. In the natural.
Yeah, but a lot of it is your expectation of failure, your expectation of fairness,
Right.
your expectation to be understood, all of the expectation that something's going to fall in my lap.
Mm-hmm.
If you have unrealistic expectations, you're not going to have happiness.
Yeah. Number 8. I can change him/her.
Yeah, just move on. Let me just say this.
You said move on, Nick.
If you're thinking about getting married right now, and you're looking at this person, and you're thinking to yourself, wow, you know what? When we get married, they're going to stop doing. Forget it. It's going to get worse. You're not going to change them. There's only one change agent on the face of the planet, and it's not you. One change agent. It's the Word of God. It's the only thing that can change anybody or anything. So yeah, you can pray and you can believe, but you're not going to change anybody.
Yeah.
I still throw my underwear in the floor. Over 20 years, still throwing my drawers in the floor. Still wearing shoes with no socks.
Did your wife expect any of those things to change?
Probably. Probably.
And she's handling it pretty well.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, 20 years, that's...
Yeah, she still has an expectation, I think, that it's going to change. but it's not going to. I mean,
just quelling that expectation.
I have no enjoyment in doing it. It's just who I am. It's who I am. It's who I am.
There it is. It's just, yeah, I mean, it's just a overflowing.
And I'm loved by her.
That's it.
Let's move on.
Yeah, let's do it. So expectations, and let's kind of wrap the topic up, Chief. I think what kind of solidified me wanting to talk about it too was what just happened. Yeah, I know. What just happened. I'm saying I feel like people can see us, but they can't see us.
Right.
He just flashed up a 9. I mean, we have 9 minutes left. Yeah, but I think what really brought it up too was Black Friday and Cyber Monday.
Yes.
Today is Giving Tuesday. Did you know that?
No, I did not know that.
Yeah, apparently the movement on the Tuesday after Cyber Monday is to give back.
Cornerstone. It is Giving Tuesday.
Cornerstone's our church.
Go to cstone.tv, click on the Give tab. Follow the instructions. It's very simple. If you're not part of Cornerstone, but you would like to participate in Giving Tuesday, go to cstone.tv.
And in all seriousness, if you whatever you're involved in, give back to your community, give back to the situations and the people around you, because that's
the key to that last expectation.
Yeah.
Happiness. Giving is the key to happiness.
It will for sure, religious or not.
Yes.
Giving will make you feel good. I mean, it's
absolutely,
it's wired in humanity.
Listen, there was not one frowning person last Wednesday night standing out in the cold weather in the middle of a mobile home park handing out free Thanksgiving dinner to everyone that came. Not one person with a frown on their face. Everybody smiling, everybody engaged, everybody happy, and they were giving.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so give back this Tuesday. But I was thinking about expectations, and one of those other things that we expect is like free shipping.
Oh, yeah.
And thanks to Amazon and their Prime membership and those things. And isn't it funny how free things are always packaged in a pay plan?
Yes. It's not free.
No, it's marketing.
Yes.
Back to what we were talking about the New York Times thing. Bestseller.
Right.
It's marketing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's free. If somebody's promising you something free, you have to pay in order to do it. You have to give them a piece of information.
Mm-hmm. It's always an exchange.
Yes, always. Everything is an exchange.
Yeah. And I mean, well, that's America.
One free gift. Only one free gift in the universe. Salvation.
You're really preaching today.
I am.
But America was built on that exchange. The market, the ability to buy and sell and exchange these things, and
market correction.
And
yeah,
it's both wonderful and terrible.
Yes.
And I don't think that we can't really get away from it, because the expectation is always going to be there that, oh, I have an opportunity to make this money. I have an opportunity to make this movement. I have an opportunity to make this statement. And there's always pushback in those things.
Oh, yeah.
And it always markets go up and they go down. And so I guess if I could wrap it up in a message to the listener.
Go ahead.
Really consider your expectations. Go into your situations, go into your circumstances, go into every exchange that you have, every situation that you end up in, and consider your expectations.
Yes.
Because it can make or break.
Absolutely.
Every day.
Absolutely.
Thinking about expectations, let's move to college football.
Let's do it.
Because we always rush this part of the show. We may have to start a second show where we talk about football only, because we could easily do a whole show about that.
Because we have an element of our listenership that does not enjoy sports.
That's true. And we expected that, and that's fine. And you may not like the entire show, and that's cool. You know what would be great? You should comment. You should send me an email. You should write on the Twitter, on the Facebook. You should tell me what you like and what you don't like, what you expect from Third Thoughts.
Absolutely.
We may or may not do it.
Correct.
But let's talk about football, Chief, real quick.
Okay.
So there's a shake-up now. Obviously, the committee will meet tonight, but Alabama fell.
Yes.
Miami fell.
Yes.
So now Georgia and Auburn have to rematch.
Mm-hmm.
So where do you think this is going?
I believe that Georgia does come back and does beat Auburn in the SEC championship.
I agree.
Georgia makes the playoffs.
Okay.
Leaves Alabama out. I don't think you. Okay, this is just my personal opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now we used to have the conferences.
Yeah.
And then there were, these conferences are really the power conferences. So we got the Power Five,
Mm-hmm.
These 5 conferences that all the power football teams, and then you've got the Group of 5.
Yeah.
The others that are not as good. And that used to be the way we judge things. But here's what I think should happen. Alabama, and I know there's a ton of Alabama fans.
Certainly.
So tweet me. I don't care what you do. I mean, I really don't. We're about to finish 6-6. I really don't care what you tweet or what you say. This is the way college football should work.
Please tell us.
If you have the 42nd most difficult schedule,
Mm-hmm.
you should not be allowed to participate in the college football playoff.
Mm.
You should be eliminated immediately.
So what you got to have like top 20 schedule?
Top 25.
Top 25. So just like the rankings, you have to have the top 25 strength of schedule.
Yes. Let's see some of these guys play each other during the regular season.
Mm.
Let's see an Alabama-Ohio State. Now, I know we were supposed to have it this year.
Mm-hmm.
I know it was supposed to be 1 versus 3. It was supposed to be Alabama and Florida State to kick off the year, and the winner of that game would go on to the college football playoff. We stunk.
Yep.
I can't blame Alabama that we stunk.
Yep.
But I can blame them for playing the other people that they played non-conference.
Mm.
And listen, here's what I think. In order to continue and perpetuate college football and all of the guys that are not good enough to play to Division I school, that have to go to Division II, Division III, NAIA schools and play.
Yeah.
Part of the whole thing is, hey, this is how we give back. This is how we give back. We schedule these schools and we pay them to come and play us.
Mm.
What should happen is you should take a portion. Okay, so there's the Group of 5, there's the Power 5. Okay, so each Power 5 conference,
Mm-hmm.
okay, they should take a portion of their bowl winnings and give it randomly, draw it, just like a lottery, to one of the Group of 5. Then they should take a smaller percentage of the bowl winnings and pass it down to D3 schools to fund those schools and help them do the things that they do, because they can't do it without that funding.
Well, that's an interesting take. Most people just say, give us 8 teams in a playoff.
Right. But no, I say got to have a top 25 schedule, got to win your conference.
Yeah.
If you can't do those 2 things, you don't belong.
All right. Right now, as we close, who's your national champion?
Who's my national champion? Wisconsin.
Hey, finally, Wisconsin is on the board. I like it. You really think so?
No.
I think the winner of the SEC, honestly.
That's going to be Georgia. Yeah. I just couldn't bring myself to say that out loud.
Hey. Well, go Badgers. Anyway.
Go Badgers!
I never thought I would say that either. Hey, thanks for joining us on the podcast live today. Third Thoughts. My name is Clay. I'm always with the Chief. We thank you for listening. We appreciate ya. Make sure you hit us up on the social networks so that we can make the show better for you.
Absolutely. Do it now before net neutrality.
Yeah, before you have to pay for this.
You have to pay for it. Absolutely.
We'll see you next Tuesday.
Just to get used to it, go to Patreon right now and make a contribution.
Yes.
Just like paying for an internet subscription.
We'll see you.
Bye.